Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be talking about the small whale Vaquitas. Please remember to like and subscribe. Now let's get right into it. Fact 1. A very small range. The Vaquita whale is extremely unique that its range in the entire world encompasses only a small part of Baja California in Mexico. In fact, it is so small that you could say that its habitat and range is not any larger than, for example, a large lake or even a small inland sea. Take a look at this map here. The shade in orange is where the Vaquita animals live and originated from. It's pretty much the mouth of the Colorado River as it empties into the Gulf of California, and that's it. They don't even go beyond to the further south of the southern part of the Gulf of California. And so it's extremely interesting that this animal has such a small habitat and ecosystem. And maybe that is the reason why this animal is also extremely small. People mistake them for dolphins often because they are of similar size. Alright, let's get into the next fact. Fact 2. Low genetic diversity. Part of the worrisome extinction endangerment of these animals is that there's only 10 to 20 left in the wild. Now when you hear that, you may think that, oh my god, this animal is going to be extinct. But going back to the previous section, their natural habitat is extremely small. With such a small area, it was impossible to have a large population to begin with, and therefore naturally, the Vaquitas have always been low in population numbers. And so even though there's only 10 to 20 remaining, it is not in danger of completely going extinct because that naturally, this population never exceeds in large amount of numbers. And one of the reasons why they have low genetic diversity is because of the constant inbreeding that was bound to occur because they lived in such a small, confined area, and there's only a limited number of vaquitas swimming in that area. Alright, let's get into the next fact. Fact 3. A varied diet. The vaquita is very different from all the other whales in the world. Most whales in the world eat a few selected specific types of food. For example, baleen whales typically just eat krill, whereas killer whales can eat seals or other mammals or other fishes. The vaquitas eat anything. They eat crab, squid, any sort of sea animal is fair game for them. I think it's incredibly interesting because the behavior of the vaquitas in terms of their diet is actually more similar to the kind of fishes you find at the bottom of the aquarium feeding on the leftovers of other fishes, bottom feeders, if you will. And I think vaquita is the same thing. They're not picky on what to eat, and generally would just eat anything that moves within its area. Because they live in such a confined small range, any small animals in the sea is likely to be eaten by the vaquitas, and they probably do not care what it is as long as it sustains them. I think this is incredible for vaquitas because it adds to their survivability, because if they're only dependent on some kind of exotic fish or food, they'll probably be extinct so fast. Alright, let's get into the next fact. Fact 4. The animal is not used. Contrary to what you may believe, the vaquita whale is not used at all by humans. Other whales in the world, ocean-going whales where they are large and what you have in mind in a traditional whale sense, are heavily prized as a delicacy in places like Japan and China. However, the vaquitas, nobody wants to eat them. Nobody wants to use any part of their body for any type of purpose. I think it's also helps them with their survival because if you think about it, If the Vaquitas has some kind of organ or some kind of skin that's really useful for a very niche service, they'll probably be hunted to extinction so fast. But because they're not used in any way and nobody's ever tried to eat them, they remain an animal that's sort of in the background, and the only reason that they're getting killed is because they got caught in the fish nets. It really helps them to be not used at all by humans, because if there is a use for vaquitas, you can bet that the Mexican fishermen will be capturing them as fast as possible. But because they have no commercial value, they're pretty safe from fishermen trying to catch them. Why would the fisherman catch something that has no commercial value? It wouldn't make any financial sense to do so. And so I think this adds to another layer of survivability for the vaquitas, because at least they won't be caught on purpose. Alright, let's get into the next and final fact. Never studied completely. Compared to all the other animals around the world, the scientific community actually has never gotten hands on a full vaquita carcass to study it in detail. And because the number in the wild is so low, as I mentioned in the previous section, 10 to 20, scientists cannot simply capture one to dissect and analyze its internal organs and behaviors. And therefore, the vaquitas remain as one of the most understudied animals, with a lot of questions and a lot of mysteries surrounding them. Scientific communities has a general sense of how they reproduce and how long they live, but they don't have too much detailed information beyond that. And because they never got a full carcass to examine, they don't really know the inner details of the vaquitas and what makes this whale so special. Alright, that's it for my video today. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.